Welcome back to the Rich Life Diaries podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you why manifesting doesn't work. So let's get into it. Welcome to Rich Life Diaries, the podcast where we talk real strategies for creating abundance, building a business you love, and designing a life that actually feels good. If you're done playing small and ready to create your dream life, you're in the right place. You've read the books, you've read The Secret, you've watched the Secret documentary, you've got the vision boards and the affirmations everywhere around your house, and you've got big goals in mind of what you want to achieve, but nothing's happening. This podcast is for you. So I'm going to go through why manifesting doesn't work, and then I'll take you through how to make manifesting work for you. So why does manifesting not work? Well, the first reason is the lack of belief in your goal. So this is the biggest reason why people can't manifest what they're wanting. So they've got things on their vision board that they want, but they can't get there. And 90% of the time it's because they don't believe that they can. So a good example of this is if you set your sights maybe too high. So let's say you're currently, you don't have a job, so you're not making an income, and maybe you don't have a huge skill set, and you've whacked on the vision board that you want to make $100 million in the next 2 years. You know, when you set your sights too high and you don't believe that you can achieve that, you're not going to achieve it. So this is the biggest reason why people can't manifest things in their life or goals, because they don't have that belief that the goal is actually achievable. So that's number one. Number two is you could have a block. So a lot of people might have blocks with money. They might have blocks with relationships and love. You could have a block in anything really. Money is the most popular one, which is what I see, what most people have a block with. And I discuss this in another episode where I'm talking about, how you can get rich. This is a big thing that will stop a lot of people from achieving what they want to achieve or manifesting that goal, is they have a block with that particular thing that they're after. So that could be money, or it could be love. You're wanting a relationship, but you might find when you do a bit of work on yourself that you've got all these internal negative self-beliefs that will be blocking you from achieving the love that you're looking for. Same thing with money. You might say, I want to become a millionaire, but you're doing all the work and you're doing all the things and you're not getting there. It could be because you've got a block with money, and that could go back to your childhood and your environment that you grew up in, and things that were told to you or brainwashed into you as a child about negative beliefs about money. But 90% of the time it's due to a negative belief about that particular thing that you're wanting, and then you've created a block with that. So that's the second reason why I see people can't manifest a particular goal that they're after. The third thing that I see that will stop you from manifesting is you're not doing the work. It's like getting in a car, having GPS. If you don't set goals or a destination, you're never going to get there. So you can do that by writing out your goals or creating a vision board or whatever it might be. But if you're not clear in your head on what it is that you're wanting, you won't get it because you need to have that up somewhere where you see it every day and you're reminding yourself, you're almost brainwashing yourself. These are the things that I want in my life. So if you're not looking at that every day, whether that's a vision board, goals written down, or affirmations written on your bathroom mirror or whatever it might be, well, that's probably another reason why you're not manifesting and getting what you want or achieving your goals. And the final reason why you're not manifesting what you want is because you have a lot of negative self-talk. So we all have negative thoughts, but typically what I see is people that are more, negative versus positive people, they don't usually get what they want in life. And that's because they're constantly telling themselves that I don't deserve this, I'm not worthy, or that's not achievable, or they're negative about other people around them that are achieving those things, or they're jealous. All those negative thoughts and feelings will stop you from manifesting your dream life. There's things that you can do to work on if you do have negative thoughts, like we all have negative thoughts. I get negative thoughts all the time, and that's okay. When a negative thought comes into your head and tells you something, you just thank it and go, oh, okay, thank you. And then replace that negative thought with a positive thought. So an example might be is you want to lose 5 kilos or whatever it might be. And your brain goes, you can't lose 5 kilos. You've tried diets before, they haven't worked. nothing works. You're always going to be 5 kilos heavier than what you want to be. Those negative thoughts start coming in, you just quickly stop the negative thought, go, oh, okay, thank you for that, and replace it with, I will lose 5 kilos and I will stick to this diet. And, in the next 6 weeks, I'm going to lose those 5 kilos and I'm going to look at them and feel amazing. So, as I said, we all get negative thoughts, completely normal, but just make sure that you're replacing them with positive thoughts, and make sure you do some work around becoming a more positive minded person, because this will really have a huge impact on what shows up in your life, and achieving those goals that you're wanting to achieve. So you might be asking, okay, great. So how can I get manifesting to work for me? So there's a number of things that you can do on a regular basis that will help you achieve what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So you can do things like meditation. Now, I find doing a daily meditation is really important. It really does help reset your mindset. So a really good meditation that you can do, it's free, it's on Spotify, and it's Deepak Chopra, and it's his 21 Days to Abundance. So start there. It's a really easy meditation to listen to. You can listen to, I think the episodes go for about 10 minutes. So you can listen to an episode every morning when you wake up and do that for 21 days. And if you do that in conjunction with the other things I'm about to mention, I'd love to see what shows up for you in 21 days if you do all these things together and get really clear about what it is you're wanting to achieve. So that's number one. Number two is having positive affirmations written in places that you're frequently, looking at, like in your bathroom mirror, or maybe in your office on your computer, somewhere where your presence is every day. Put positive affirmations up so you're constantly brainwashing yourself to think a certain way. Having a lot of gratitude as well is definitely something I think will help with manifestation. Personally, I've got a gratitude journal. I write down 3 things every day that I'm grateful for. And this just helps put you in that positive mindset. Instead of thinking about all the things you don't have, you're focusing on the things that you do have in your life and the things that you're grateful for. And good thoughts create good things. So if you're putting that out there to the universe, typically what I see is, you'll get that back tenfold. Another thing I'd recommend doing is, reading lots of books, listening to podcasts like this that talk about manifestation, and just educating yourself on how to manifest. I've actually written a book on manifestation. It's called The No BS Guide to Creating a Dream Life. So check that out on Amazon. It's also, I've got an audio version of that on Spotify, and it's free. So feel free to listen to that while you're driving around in the car or picking the kids up from school. Just start sort of brainwashing yourself every day with information about, thinking positively and manifestation and working on your mindset, because all those things will help you get to your end goals as well. And finally, the other thing is, as I said earlier, belief is the key and manifesting. So make sure that when you're writing out your goals or creating that vision board, that the things that you're putting on that vision board are things that you do kind of believe that you could achieve. Don't make your goals too crazy high. As I said, don't say, I want to become I want to make $100 million and you're currently unemployed. Make it something so it's realistic. So if you're not working at the moment, say, I want to start a business and in my first year I want to make $100,000 or something like that, something that is achievable. And then, in 12 months time, you can then up that from 100,000 to 500,000 and, work your way up there. It has to be believable for you in your head. Otherwise, you're not going to manifest it. I'm reading a book at the moment, actually. It's called The Magician's Way, and it's by a gentleman called William Whitecloud. And he speaks about, he just shares stories in this book, just pretty much it's the undertone of manifesting, but his philosophy is basically always focusing on the outcome that you want and imagining the outcome. So I was playing mini golf the other day and I was just doing little tests with this. And as I was playing mini golf, I just shut my eyes and just imagined the ball going in hole in one. And it literally worked. I'm not great at mini golf, but the other day I killed it. I beat my partner. And I think it's because I was just using these tools that I've been reading in this book, and just closing my eyes and not thinking about how I'm going to get to the destination. I'm just imagining that I've already hit the shot and it's gone into the hole. And I'm imagining in my head the ball rolling into the hole in a hole in one. So I think this is key. This just goes back to the belief around, imagining that you already have that thing that you're wanting, whatever that is. If that's something superficial like a new car or more money or whatever, try to imagine that you already have that thing. And I know this is a really tough one for a lot of people because we all get stuck in, those little negative thoughts will pop in. And I know this happened with me when I was testing this little concept the other day when I was playing mini golf. And there were a few times I was trying to just imagine the ball going in, but I looked at it and I thought, oh God, I don't think that's possible for a hole in one. As soon as that thought comes in, I know I've killed it already. I know I'm not going to get it because that's what and this is the hardest part with manifesting. It's like, getting those little negative thoughts out and just focusing on the outcome and having 100% belief that's where it's going, that's what's going to happen, and that's what it's going to look like. So it's easy to say, just focus on the outcome and you'll get it. But I know I get it. It is hard to do because those little thoughts will come in and go, oh, no, you won't be able to do that. Or how are you going to get there? So just try to do lots of work on that and do little, I think it's like a muscle. It's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So start off with small things. So I always do it with car parking and, as I said, with mini golf, and do it with little things. And as you build that muscle up and you get more and more self-belief of like, oh crap, this actually works, and oh, I can do it. Like going to the gym and building that muscle, it's going to get stronger, and then you can go after your bigger goals. So that's another thing that I'd suggest doing. Just start off with, manifesting or imagining that car park right at the front of where you want to go. Start off with small things like that and then build it up to the big things that you do want. And that will just help, train that muscle, as I said. So to finish off the podcast, I just want to say this one thing. Your focus determines your reality. So just let that sink in. What you focus on is what shows up in your life, whether that's positive, negative, good, bad, ugly, beautiful. Whatever goes on in here, what you're focused on, that's what's going to show up in your life. And always remember that your mindset and your thoughts are so powerful. You have the ability to create anything you want to create. You just have to believe it's achievable and you can do it. So I just wanted to leave today's podcast on that note because I think it's really important. There's all these things out there that you can do and whatever, but at the end of the day, you are in control of your life and you can control the outcome of your life. And you need to believe that first and foremost before you can start manifesting things like car parks or $100 million. So guys, that's my episode today discussing why manifesting doesn't work. I hope you found this useful. Make sure you subscribe to the Rich Life Diaries podcast, and I look forward to seeing you back here in a couple of weeks.